Good morning, guys. Back again. I had to make a video. Call me crazy, but once again, we're here discussing another Leafs first round exit. Now, there's so much to talk about, guys. I really want to dive into it. There's many parts to discuss, so I had to take a few days, literally, to just, take all the trolls, take all the comments, let it just simmer and take it all in. And as a diehard Leaf fan, what I've been seeing on social media, the trolls, the comments, the attacks on players, I mean, we are going to get to this. So I wanted to just first dissect the Leafs debacle. I mean, this is becoming a habit. This is becoming something that, it's like they said in Dangle today, the Leafs nation has such a low bar. And it's true. It's such a low bar. All we want you to do is to get past the first round. And guys, it broke my heart. I won't lie. It broke my heart when I saw, us up 3-1, and then in game five, we lose. And then game six, once again. And then, going into any game seven as a Leaf fan, you're always shitting bricks, I'm telling you. And this year wasn't any different. Um, Once they went up 1-0, I was like, okay, 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 it's okay. Once they went up 2-0, I wrote the game off. And the reason why I wrote them off at that point was because the show in game five, the no starting on time, the same issue in game six. The comeback was there, and I applaud them for that. But our best players weren't our best players, and that's basically what sums it up. When you have Jason Spezza and Alex Kerfoot and William Nylander, outside of William Nylander, but when you got Kerfoot and Spezza, your highest point scorers during a playoff season, when and you look at Austin Matthews and Marner with only one goal between both of them, it's tough. It's tough, guys. And they are humans too, though, and that's the thing. They're not perfect all the time. They're still young kids. I'm referring to Austin and Mitch Marner right now. And playoffs is a different beast. Playoffs are a different beast, and teams need to be prepared for that and adapt to that. And there's a few things that I feel the Leafs did not adapt. They did not adapt to Ducharme's lineups. They didn't. They kept with that Matthews Marner line that just wasn't producing. They didn't switch it up. They didn't bring in new blood. They didn't bring in the first game. We had to make adjustments with Tavares getting literally decapitated, which I can't watch that anymore. And to see him upright right now is a blessing. So to JT and his family, it's sad that I couldn't see you in the first round, but I'm glad you're doing well, buddy. But to my point, I mean, the Leafs just fell flat. They fell flat, and I understand pressure. I understand being a young player in the NHL, trying to make a name for yourself, and things just don't go your way. I know how hard it might be. What I will say though is this is also a learning curve for these kids. They've said it many times. Other teams have gone through the same kind of route where the Tampa Bay Lightning got swept in the first round on their route to the Stanley Cup after having a President's Trophy year. Or the Washington Capitals. How many shots at the can did they have after winning the President's Trophy so many times with Ovi in your lineup? You know, it's a different game in the playoffs, and I'm wondering, at this point, is it better to have a full bolstered up, top four like the Leafs have, or is it good to have an even balanced team? I personally think, in my opinion, the Leafs cannot move on from Mitch Marner. They cannot. It would be like OKC getting rid of Durant or Harden back when they did. Look what happened. I'm sure they would love to have those two players back. Mitch Marner is a talent. He was top 5 in NHL scoring this year. And it's not like he didn't do pretty much the same last year and the year prior. People need to stop getting on Mitch for his lack of success in the playoffs because it is a team sport. Mitch is the engine of the Toronto Maple Leafs, in my opinion. He sees the ice better than most. Yeah, he could get a little tougher, but that comes with development. But when I hear people getting on his social media, sending threats, sending ill will towards him, that really rattles my cage, and I can't stand for that. I mean, he's a person too, guys, and you know, uh, I'm with you, Mitchie. If you see this, hear this, we would love to have you back. You are a pivotal piece of this team, and if I'm the GM of the Toronto Maple Leafs, I don't move on from you. I develop you into the player that we expect as fans in the playoffs. And this is something that can happen. That's part of the coach's job, to develop those characteristics of what it takes to get into the playoffs and play in the playoffs. It's a different beast, as we all say. And that will come. Same thing with Austin. It's going to come. Our time will come. Yeah, it's been a frustrating ride. We've been through so many first round exits. I can't even count anymore. But as a Leaf fan, and this is another point I want to make too, I've seen a lot of shit on social media about people saying real Leaf fans, talking about other fans because they're frustrated, they're not real Leaf fans, or because they get frustrated and express their feelings of 5 first round exits. People get frustrated. That's part of the sport. You win some, you lose some, guys. But at the end of the day, if you give your time to a certain team constantly, year after year after year, and you cheer for them year after year after year, you're invested in that team. So that classifies you as a Leaf fan. So who the hell are you to say someone's not a Leaf fan? You're on your high pedestal, I think, and you need to come back down to earth and reality. You don't dictate who are Leaf fans, because there's so many different kinds of fans. There's new fans, there's old fans who have seen this team be unsuccessful since 1967. There's fans that have only watched this team for 5 years and only catching the last 5 first round exits. So myself, I've watched the team since the early 80s, and I've watched them be dog shit year after year after year after year. But I still ride or die with the Leafs because there's a passion behind riding for a team until that magical moment when they actually pull it off. And it will come. This will happen in Toronto with this group. If they play their cards right, bring in the right personnel, they do have to change some of the coaching staff, because I think our power play was atrocious. Manny Malhotra, Hackstall, whatever his name is. I mean, those two probably need to go, and I need a sharper, more of a push type of coach in there. And hey, I might be calling Johnny Tortorella soon, because that's a type of grit, not grit player. That's a type of grit coach we need. A beautiful contrast to Sheldon Keefe. Sheldon Keefe, the quiet assassin. John Tortorella as the assistant, maybe. Hey, guy needs a job. You've won a cup. Bring that experience. Maybe the kids could learn something about tough love. Another thing I want to mention, I've been a fan of Steve Dangle for quite some time. His podcast, SPDN, Jesse Blake, Adam Wilde, guys are unbelievable, and love what they have been doing for the longest time. And I heard Steve Dangle talking about how, him and his LFRs, and how it's so frustrating for him to do it year after year after year without success. I understand that, but Stevie, we need you here, bud. You're the mouth of the North. We need you here. And I know you're going to come back, because it's your job, as they say. This is your thing. This is what you excel at, and this is what brings our entire Leaf Nation together. You're the boss. Shout out Stevie Dangle. Um, Big thing on social media now too as well. The trolls are just ridiculous with the comments. The Montreal Canadiens fans just lit me up on TikTok, and it's fine. I mean, it's part of the game. If you can't take it, or if you're dishing it out, you better be able to take it. And I'm totally fine with me getting torched from time to time. It's not a big deal. But some of these comments are just ridiculous. Like all I hear is, "All the Leafs are going golfing again, eh?" Or what's the other one I hear constantly? "Oh, another first round exit, eh, boys?" Like some of your remarks are lame, and I mean it's pretty funny to kind of take it in and look at how uncreative you guys are with your comebacks. It's jokes, but we did lose in 7 games. I kudos you guys, Montreal. Good luck with the Jets. I know you got off to a great start last night, but it is a 7 game series, so we'll see how that one pans out. I hope you all shake Carey Price's hand after every single game, because without him, you guys would not be in the place you'd be right now. I'll just tell you right now. Mark that as facts. Okay, so that's cool. And yeah, so that's why I had to kind of take a couple days to deal with the troll, deal with all the shit that I had to deal with, and kind of just take in the loss. I understand that they're devastated as a team right now, and probably more devastated than I've seen this group be after a Game 7 loss or a first round exit. And there's something to be said about that. There's something to be said about that, and there's something about reviving yourself and redeeming yourself that motivates players. And I can see it when I looked at Jack Campbell devastated. You know, there's a lot of unfinished business that needs to be done here in Toronto, and it needs to be done. Brandon Shanahan said it himself. He's not going to stop until he accomplishes his goal of winning the cup with this group in this city. He's not going to stop. And you know what? I like what he's doing. I think Keefe has done a bang up job with this group so far. Um, it's learning, guys. And Leaf Nation, you got to be patient. I know patience is sometimes very frustrating, and we go through our downs more than we go through our ups. But at the end of the day, this is who we ride or die for. And when that big magical moment happens, it's going to be that much more incredible. So, you know, I just wanted to kind of talk about, that a bit, and I also want to make mention of, some of the things that I would do in this off season if I was the Leafs GM. Now, if I was the Leafs GM, if I'm Dubas, I don't touch those top 4 guys. I don't. I don't. You don't touch Johnny. You don't touch Austin. You don't touch Willie, and you do not touch Mitch Marner. You don't. Okay? Because they're not the issue. There's 4 lines in hockey, right, guys? 4 lines, right? Yeah, 4 lines. And when your third line and fourth line just aren't producing, other than a few oddballs like Spezza, Kerfoot had some luck, but not consistently. And you have a bunch of guys like Mikheyev, who, yeah, he's quick, but he can't finish anything. You know, he was an issue. The only thing he's valued as is a PK guy, a penalty kill guy, because he's good at that. But other than that, where's your secondary scoring coming from? Where is it coming from? 3 lines. I look at the NHL teams and I look at some of these third lines and fourth lines, and they could easily push, to be second lines on some other teams. You got to have a combination of skill, grit, and lockdown defense on those third and fourth lines. You got to have the combination of those 3 things. And I don't see that in our bottom 6 For once, it's not our it's our bottom six forwards that I think are the issue here. Another one issue, a glaring issue, even though he's a great player, he's a good defenseman, but he's not a number one. And I'm talking about Morgan Rielly. Morgan Rielly, as I said, with all due respect, you've done a great job here in Toronto, but I don't think you're the number one defenseman that will end up taking us to where we want to go. And if I'm the Leafs, I'd be looking at who's really going to. You got Anderson, he's gone. He's good as gone. So that's 5 mil off your cap. You got Hyman to sign. What are you doing there? He's getting paid 5 mil, and he's probably going to ask for a little bit more. I don't know if he's taking that home discount. And then you got who else you got here? What was I talking about? So Anderson, Hyman. So that's 10 mil there. You could easily go out and get a solid defenseman or trade for a solid defenseman with using Morgan Rielly as a swap. That's just something I would do. You also got to think, is Joe Thornton going to come back? It's tough to see him go out like this in a first round exit, but that's how the game goes sometimes, and it's crazy. It's crazy. I want him to win very bad. But, you only get so many kicks at the can. So I think there's going to be a lot of movement. I know it's going to be a crazy summer for Austin. It's going to be a crazy summer for Mitch. I think Willie did outstanding, and he has nothing to worry about. I think John has nothing to worry about because he's our captain. He'll be back stronger than ever next year. I just hope, for the Leafs' sake, they don't move on from Mitch Marner. I think that would be the biggest mistake they've ever made, and it would burn our ass for years to come. So, Leafs upper management, if you see this, please rethink that if that's where you're leaning towards, because there's other options out there. There's a lot of pieces that we have coming up from the prospect pool that could definitely fit into our lineup. So don't be emotional about moving a player of Mitch Marner's status. He is going to develop, and this, if anything, will light a fire under his ass, and that's facts. I've been watching him since he was a young player, and he's the type of player that has the determination to change everyone's narrative, and that will start with next year. You'll see. And he'll also be a top 5 scorer in NHL again. Don't let one couple bad series taint what you see in a player, okay? Because, as I mentioned before, it took a lot of Hall of Fame players long time to secure the cup and be a Stanley Cup winner. It took them a long time. It's a team game. And everyone needs to be pulling the same way. Everyone needs to buy in, and everyone needs to know how to adapt and keep your head on a swivel. Playoffs, they move fast. Did we think JT was going to go down? Did we think Muzzin was going to go down? That has an effect on a squad. When you see your captain go down like that, there's more to hockey than just wins and losses and cups. They spend all day long with each other there. It's like a family. So when you see one of your family members go down, what happens to you? It's a different way to look at things. Yeah, we got the shit end of the stick in the first round. At the end of the day, that's hockey. So, I've moved on from it. It's summertime. We got Blue Jays rocking things. Manoah, Vladdy, Bichette. All of these names just sound like music to my ears. It's going to be a hot summer, and hockey will be back sooner than you know it. Hopefully, we move past this COVID stuff, and things go back to normal. I'm ready for next year. I still welcome all the trolls. You know where to find me. I'll go toe to toe, all day long, kids. I live for that shit, just so you know. But anyway, till next year, talking about the Leafs anyway. I'm sure it's going to be a hot off season, but till next year, guys, be well. It's Puck Daddy 93. Go check me out on IG, Puck Daddy 93, or at pd93.cards. Check me out on TikTok, where you can see me be superstar that I am. Check me out on my Facebook group, Junk Wax Beauties, 90s Hockey Cards. Check me out anywhere you want. Just check me out. With all that said, peace out.